Well, it's the cheapest and one of the most positively reviewed rowing machines on Amazon. Is the Sunny Health and Fitness rowing machine worth it? For those of you that don't know me, I'm Austin from Training Tall, and I'm 6'8". But Training Tall is all about giving you the tips, strategies, techniques, and mindset to help take your fitness and health above the average person, even if you're short. Get it? And today I'm sitting on the Sunny Health and Fitness rowing machine. This is their take on the rowing machine, and I just want to give you guys a review on this because I've been asked many times, is this a rowing machine worth getting? So we're just going to take it sort of one piece at a time, covering all the details of the machine itself, the pricing, etc., and talk about if it's something that it's worth getting for you. So if you type in rowing machine on Amazon, this is one of the first machines to pop up, and it seems pretty enticing. It comes in at a whopping $80 for this machine, whereas a lot of the more conventional higher end rowing machines are $1,000, $1,200, $1,400 plus. So you see, oh, rowing machine for 80 bucks. Well, shoot, let's check it out. But let's address the elephant in the room first. The elephant being me. I'm too big. I'm too big for this machine. So that's kind of the first con already. You know, I'm 6'8", I know I'm really tall, but even if someone is like 6'4", which is a little more common, like even someone that's 6'4" probably wouldn't be able to get their legs fully straightened on this machine. And understanding that the legs and the hip swing are one of the biggest components to a proper and effective rowing stroke, well, if you can't use your legs all the way, well, that's already a bummer. But I know most of you won't have that issue, but I thought I'd get it out of the way first. Now, when it came to the setup of this machine, it only took about 10 minutes. It comes with all the parts that you need, all the tools that you need, and screwing in a couple things here and there, all of a sudden, you've got your rowing machine built and ready to go. And one of the first things you'll notice about this machine that's different than most rowing machines is that it uses pump action to create the resistance during the rowing stroke, compared to the very conventional, air damper or water resistance or magnetic resistance that we see from more of the conventional top-end rowing machines. So what's nice about that is that it's quiet. You row, you don't really hear much. Kind of similar to the sound that you would hear when you're on a magnetic resistance rowing machine, which is also very quiet, but it definitely doesn't have that loud sound that you get from the air resistance or from water resistance. Now that's great and all, Austin, but how does it row? How do you row it? As you can see, the handle is attached to the main body of the machine, so there's no sort of free movement of the handle in and out, which means that as this thing rows, it is following in one specific arc. And you can even see it right here that it is going in this sort of sweeping arcing motion. It goes from this low position here up to the top and then back down. And when it comes to rowing well, that's not really the path of how we would want a rowing handle to take. But because it's using the pump down here to create the resistance, even though your hands end up being low at the bottom of the stroke, you still feel the resistance the entire way. But because of that arcing motion and being really tall in this machine, look what happens when I try to row this thing all the way in. I can't even bring this thing to my body. It stops right here at the middle of my thighs. Not even upper thighs, not even waist. I mean, I'm glad it's not crushing right here, but that's as far as this thing rows. Look, I go forward to the front. I can't even get a full body lean, arms extended position. So I'm kind of crunched up here and then pulling in the handle. It just sits out down here to the lower thigh, to the mid thighs. Like, what the heck? I mean, the handle grip is nice. It's foamy and cushy and nice. And so is the seat too. I mean, this is a nice cozy seat. It feels pretty cheap as far as the fabric goes, and it doesn't seem like a good fabric that will do well with sweat. It's almost like they intended you to just use this for a couple minutes and then be bored and then hop off before you actually got sweaty. And you'll see that the body of this machine sort of forces the seat to go down at an angle. And so while that may help your return up for each rowing stroke, I mean, you can't even finish a full rowing stroke, but that return back up, it makes it less required that you use your core to come back up and more about just falling to come back up, which isn't really inducive to good rowing form. Oh yeah, and the foot plates, yeah, they're like a really, really cheap plastic. And with my big old feet, which go over almost half of the foot plate, You can very easily feel it starting to flex when you drive power in your legs. You can feel that that plastic is very thin and is most likely going to snap on you after a few sessions on this machine. I mean, the Velcro strap is nice to keep your feet in place. It can get a nice secure fit, but it just doesn't feel like it's meant to have any sort of real power put behind each stroke, because you can feel that plastic flex. It's not good. And there's no adjustment of your foot up or down. So, I mean, if your foot was too small, which you may very much, if you're a smaller woman, for instance, have a very, very small foot, there's no real adjusting of the foot position here. And so while it is across like the middle of my shoe, it might be on the upper end of your shoe. There's nothing really you can do about it. So if we take a few strokes here, we can see that this is just sort of a shortened, really not effective rowing stroke. I mean, you really can't get a solid leg drive or a swing back just because, again, the rail is so short. Can't pull on the handles at all, so you're really not getting any sort of finish of that rowing stroke. However, I will say, with the pump resistance, it comes with this little dial down here that you can essentially twist to change the resistance that you feel each stroke. And it has this setting that goes from 1 to 12. And when you crank it up to the 12 setting, and you really brace yourself, it's a heavy stroke back. Like, it's really hard. I've got it on the 12 right here, like pushing. It's very resistive. And, you know, if you keep your arms straight, and it's almost like a really good like practice device to practice the back engagement as you drive your legs. You know, you can work on pulling your shoulders down and driving back, and it feels really, really heavy, which you can't really get that sense of heaviness on any of the conventional rowing machines. So I guess some props there that like it helps you practice a really heavy loaded stroke. But since you can't get a full stroke in, a full proper stroke with this strange arcing motion up and back and this weird seat, this weird foot plates and this small range of motion, this odd stroke, it doesn't, you know, that cool resistance it's cool that it's there, but it doesn't translate well into a full rowing stroke because you can't row a full stroke on here. Now, the monitor that you get with this rowing machine, it's a bummer. It's pretty basic. There's nothing really to see here. It gives you a stroke count. It gives you a projected calories that you burn, which I don't know who could be based off of anything. As of now, I haven't found a way to reset the screen. But those are really the only two metrics that it shows you. And, you know, that's lame. Like, I feel like I'm stumbling for words here just because it's just such a basic machine that you're not really set up to succeed. You're just not. You want a machine that's telling you how far you're going per stroke. That way you can program workouts into it. You want a machine that can show you how hard you're rowing so you can practice holding a specific pace. I mean, this machine, at best, it's just a heavy loaded, like hip hinge kind of, sort of. Like, that's it. And as someone who makes lots and lots of rowing videos for YouTube, this is not a good machine. Like, I'm sorry, this is not worth the $80. A lot of people think rowing is going to be great because it's the highest calorie burning exercise. So let me just get a rowing machine and just find the cheapest one on Amazon. This is not the machine. This is just not worth it at all. You're much better off investing a few $100s into a machine that actually allows you to take a proper rowing stroke and gives you a monitor that you can use to track your data, track your progress, to give you a little bit more information for when you're doing your rowing workouts. Because if you want to find success in rowing, success in your fitness journey, you got to know what you're doing and you got to progress yourself further throughout the weeks and months in your journey. Oh, and the weight limit for this thing is 220 pounds. So I'm just on the brink of breaking it. Guys, this is not a great machine. It's not. So I hope this can clear up the question. Austin, is the Sunny Health and Fitness rowing machine worth it? Please, please, please stay away from this machine until they come out with a machine that allows you to actually take a full proper rowing stroke, that gives you a monitor that allows you to track your workout progress, and it has a rail that's long enough for tall people. This is not going to be the machine for you. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this could give a little insight into this ridiculous piece of equipment, and I hope you liked it. So leave a like if you enjoyed it. I want to cover more rowing machines So let me know down in the comments below which machine you want me to cover, and I'll see if I can get my hands on it. Please let me know what you think. Subscribe for more fitness content. Be sure to check out my rowing ebooks if you're interested in some rowing plans, or my online training platform, Hit Plus. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.